From the heart of Las Vegas, this is The Middle Ground, your destination for balanced conversations, real issues, and common sense solutions. Hosted by Tom Letizia, The Middle Ground starts now.
Good morning, Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to the Middle Ground Radio Show. This is Tom Letizia, and the Middle Ground is where conversations meet the heart of our community. Today, we're honored to have a guest whose impact spans law, public service, and the gift of life itself. Tyre Gray is the Chief Administrative and Legal Officer at the Nevada Donor Network. He's a respected voice in both the legal and healthcare communities and a powerful advocate for equity, access, and purpose. A little tongue-tied here this morning, Tyre, but that's okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Las Vegas, and thank you for having me here today, Tom.
We're happy to have you here, and you've got so much compassion, and you got a great story to tell. Your leadership means so much to this community. This is a wonderful organization. You've done so much for the community, and a lot of people don't know about the Nevada Donor Network. I would say maybe 95% of the people that listen to the radio are not aware of all the great things that you do. But if you're in need of an organ, if that time in your life comes, this is the most important aspect of your life at that point in time. And so I want you to share a little bit about that today. With me on the show is Russell Letizia, our executive producer. Russell puts all of our digital components together. He puts all the podcasts up and gets them running, all of our social media, and pretty much does everything except have the tongue-tied mouth that his dad has, which I have today, but that's okay. We'll get into the groove. Russell, you want to kick it off with a question?
Yeah, Tyre, you've worn many hats, attorney, public servant, and now Chief Administrative and Legal Officer at Nevada Donor Network. What led you to this mission?
Well, great question, Russell. Quite honestly, I always say my career, my life is what happens when you say yes to random questions. I've been fortunate to be a teacher. I've been fortunate to work in the hospitality industry. I was the president of the Nevada Mining Association, and before coming here to the Nevada Donor Network. And for me, being at the Nevada Donor Network is just a full circle moment. And I'm sure we'll get into a little bit of those questions a little bit later. But the ability to be able to help people who need a life-saving organ or life-saving tissue that will help to change their life and improve their life is just a dream come true for me.
Yeah, it must be an amazing feeling to be able to give the gift of life to someone. Nationwide, there are only 56 federally certified OPOs in the country. That's an organ procurement organization. We're very fortunate to have one of them right here in Las Vegas. And I wanted to ask you, too, you've got a legal background. How does that help shape your leadership approach in healthcare?
Well, every job that I've had along the way, you pick up something from that job, right? Mm-hmm. Whether that was my first job and SeaWorld of San Diego as a popcorn vendor. I learned how to use my voice. And,
popcorn vendor?
Oh, yeah. I was a popcorn and soda vendor. I walked up and down the show steps. But it taught a lot of humility, and it taught me how to also be able to project and use my voice. And those are things, again, something that you wouldn't think about.
Right.
But developing comfort of walking up on a stranger and say, hey, would you like some popcorn?
You're absolutely right.
And so, just developing those skills along the way. But my legal background definitely helps within the organ donation context. We are a very heavily regulated industry. Mm-hmm. And so our ability to be able to understand those regulations, apply them properly, is a great skill to bring to the table.
Right. So let me ask you this. What does a typical day look like for you as the Chief Administrative and Legal Officer?
Well, in our role, there really are no typical days, because we have the fortune of operating, at the tip of the spear for what will ultimately go on to help to save, hopefully, over 100,000 Americans. What we know today is that there are 100,000 Americans who are on the organ transplant list, and that one donor,
100,000 in the United States.
In the United States. Here in Nevada, that number is closer to about 800. Mm-hmm. However, we believe that the lack of access in Nevada actually cuts that number down, artificially suppresses that number. So we believe that number to be closer to probably about 2,000 people. Because particularly, again, as I said, I used to be with mining, so I know that the access of care sometimes in some of the rural communities and even in some of our urban centers just isn't there.
Yeah.
And so our ability to be able to go out and help to procure organs in order to help these folks is very, very important.
Yeah. So what core values drive your work at the Nevada Donor Network?
Yeah, look, we always say joyful, selfless, and relentless are kind of the three core values that we stick to. And our mission is really to heal and save lives. Mm-hmm. One of the statistics that I want people to take away is that one organ donor can save up to 8 lives and can heal up to 75 and restore sight for up to 2 people. Uh-huh. And that's just one donor. And so, you amplify that. When one person says yes and they check the box at the DMV or they log on to our website at nvdonor.org and they sign up to become an organ donor, if they progress to that, they will have the opportunity to really amplify and improve lives for so many people.
Sure. So what do most people misunderstand most about organ, eye, and tissue donation? Because I would imagine a lot of people don't check that box, right?
Yeah, so, there are a lot of myths out there, and, August happens to be Multicultural Organ Donation Awareness Month, mm-hmm. and, it's important that our message spreads across all communities, but particularly communities that maybe are underserved, because some of those underserved communities, unfortunately, have a disproportionate, impact, if you will, or representation on those people who need organs. Mm-hmm. And so we need to make sure that folks are able to be a part of the donation pool who are also part of the transplant pool. But, 2 of the myths that I would love to clear up really quickly, if you'll allow me. Number mm-hmm. one, organ donation happens after a person dies. Mm-hmm. And if you unfortunately find a loved one in a situation where they're progressing, the medical teams here in our state are going to do everything in their power to make sure that you receive all of the care that is available. Uh-huh. But unfortunately, when that care becomes futile, that is when the process of organ donation may occur. So right. I think it's important to make sure that people understand, number one, being an organ donor does not mean that you won't receive life-saving care. You will absolutely receive that. But if that life-saving care becomes futile, then that's when you would ultimately progress to donation after death.
Yeah, for me, it was an easy decision. When I would go to the DMV to renew my driver's license or whatever opportunity I had at the DMV, I checked that box without even thinking twice. But a lot of people do have reservations, don't they? For what reason?
Look, I think, some of the most popular reasons are there are movies. And, though I enjoy a good movie, movies aren't always accurate about what happens around donation.
Yeah.
There also are, just be frank, there's some people who've maybe along the way in other states or in other countries have had bad experiences or heard of anecdotal bad experiences that other people have had. And so one of the things that we're most proud of here at the Nevada Donor Network is that we are a Tier 1A OPO. And what that means is that the federal government has assessed our performance and has determined that our performance is at the very, very top. And so one of the things I'd like to say about my career is I've worked in gaming, which our gaming system is the number one in the world. I've worked in mining. Our mining system is number one in the world. And I get to work in the OPO space, the organ procurement space, and we happen to be the number one in the world as well. So I don't know if the correlation is me or I'm just very fortunate to be able to piggyback on great work done. No, I kid.
Well, so how okay, so let's say someone is in an accident, an automobile accident. When do you get alerted that there is a donor that may have organs available at some point?
Yeah, that's a great question. And look, there's a lot that goes into that. So somebody's in an accident, that person's transported to the hospital. The care medical team is working to make sure they can do everything they can to save that person's life.
Right.
In the intake process, a lot of times your ID will be viewed and your registration status will be communicated. If that person again progresses to the point of death, that's when our team steps in. But really, beforehand, you are in the care of.
So it's death that alerts you. You get an alert from that hospital that this person has passed.
Yeah, so we get an alert from the hospital at registration that that person has been registered. And usually the trigger for some type of alert is when somebody's placed on a ventilator and when there's already been medical care that's been rendered and there's a belief that that person may not progress beyond.
I see. So, and people need to realize these numbers. I mean, these are phenomenal numbers. 45,217 organs from deceased donors were transplanted in 2024. That's 45,000, saving an estimated 39,000 lives. That's an average of 132 transplants a day. So this is something that's happening every single day, every minute, every hour. There's transplants taking place here in the United States. I want to ask you this on that question. How does Nevada Donor Network rank nationally in the organ donation system?
Yeah, so again, we are a Tier 1A OPO, so we are the very top in regards to our experience, in regards to our performance. And, that culture change happened many years ago. Our president and CEO, Joe Ferreira, and really all of our...
Joe was on the show recently, too. I had
awesome,
Joe on,
man.
And we had a nice conversation. Great insight.
Now I've got to compete against Joe. I've figure out a way to be more interesting. No, I can't.
Well, you both probably had a different perspective. Though.
Oh yeah, I completely joke.
Yeah.
So, really that organizational shift really led us from frankly being worst to becoming best. And we're at the tip of the spear when it comes to a lot of the innovations within the industry, and really we've become a teacher to other organizations that will come out and kind of study what we're doing.
That's interesting. Tell me about the Nevada Donor Network's effort to help save or transform lives through organ, eye, and tissue donations.
Yeah, so, the Nevada Donor Network focuses on donation, and that is the process of recovering those organ, tissue, and ocular. But on the flip side, there's the transplant, and that's the actual surgery that helps to either save and or heal lives. And part of our initiatives, we've worked really closely with a lot of our partners to help to found the Nevada Transplant Institute. And the Nevada Transplant Institute is a separate and distinct organization that is intended to help to increase the number of transplants that are happening within the state of Nevada. Currently, right now, we have the transplant program at UMC, and shout out to the guys at UMC. I'll talk probably about them a little bit later. But we're also, through the Nevada Transplant Institute, we've been working with the renowned Transplant Institute up in northern Nevada in Reno in order to be able to provide access to transplant for Northern Nevadans and frankly everybody, because what we know right now is that our donation rates here in Nevada are very, very high. However, we have had instances where we've done a procurement on an organ here in Nevada, had to send it to California for a Nevadan to have to drive from Nevada down to California to have that transplanted. And you just think about that doesn't make any sense, and the cost and the administrative burden and just the stress on the family of having to leave state in order to procure that organ.
It has to be one of the most stressful moments in a family's life when you're waiting for an organ and then you go through the process of the transplant. Can you walk us through what happens when a donor match is found?
Yeah, so when Organ procurement starts. There's the process of going through and looking for a match, and there's a really sophisticated allocation system that we could spend the entire show speaking about. But essentially, certain numbers are inputted into a computer, and that computer generates a list, and it's almost archaic in ways, but the first person on that list essentially gets a phone call, that transplant center, and that transplant surgeon gets to make the decision whether or not to accept that organ or to let it go to the next person. And you kind of literally just work your way down the list until that organ finds a home.
Mm-hmm. And you've been a strong voice for equity. How do disparities impact organ donation in underserved communities?
Well, I think underserved communities face barriers to access to healthcare in general.
Yeah.
And so the ability to access healthcare is important. My grandfather had a lot of little tidbits that he would leave me with, but one of those famous ones is the ability to prevent versus to react, right? If you can get in early and you can prevent and you can delay the need for organ transplant, that is really the best course of action versus getting transplant down the line. And so some of the things that we do, again, I mentioned that August is Multicultural Awareness Month. We are fierce about getting out into the community. Whenever there is a community event, we are there tabling, we're there giving information. We're going to local churches, local community centers, local events, particularly in communities of color and those underrepresented communities, just to make sure that they have an awareness of the donation process, but then also the access to transplant. And we do work really closely with a lot of our hospital partners here within the Valley and across the state, just to make sure that when they're going out in the community that they're able to provide this information as well, or we're able to piggyback with them.
Yeah, and that's good that you're doing the outreach. And I think I had the opportunity to hear one of your speakers at the Latin Chamber of Commerce a couple times. And it raised awareness within the community. But again, the public doesn't have enough knowledge of what you're doing. And I'm hoping that this radio show today is getting your message out to more people that they need to check their driver's license right now, I would imagine, because most people probably don't know if they checked that box or not when they went down to the DMV. But if you're not a donor right now, what do they need to do?
No, the process of becoming a donor is very simple. So either next time that you visit the DMV, go ahead and check the box. Shout out to our partners there at the DMV. I know sometimes the DMV gets a bad rap, but if you get an appointment, they're taking good care of you and they're getting you in and out quickly.
Yeah, in an hour at least.
Yeah. And then also for if you don't have a DMV appointment scheduled anytime soon, again, we encourage you to visit our website, nvdonor.org, and you can actually register through a process of clicking and getting to the right.
So it takes 5 minutes, right?
Yeah,
you go online,
it's relatively simple.
You check the box. So everyone listening right now, whether you're listening live on KMZQ or you're listening on a podcast or you're streaming, check that box. Go to the website. That's the quickest thing to do, unless you got to go to the DMV, and there's thousands of people there every day. But one way or the other, you need to check that box and register. I mean, I always say I'm going to be dead by the time they take my organs. What do you got to lose, really, right?
Yeah, no, look, we tell people we want you to live the fullest, most fulfilled life that you possibly can.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that life, if there's any ability to be able to extend another person's life, why wouldn't you?
It's
say
a no-brainer,
yes
really. It's a no-brainer. Okay, so you're involved in the legal and the policy of the organization, and I would imagine you need to interact with our legislators. What legislative or regulatory changes are you currently advocating for?
Yeah, so the legislative session just happened, and shout out to our governor and all the legislators that spent time away from their families for 120 days to help make Nevada a better place to live.
Yeah.
During that session, we did advocate for just general awareness, and then also the ability to be able to transport donors. It was something that was important to us. We're in the process of building what's called a DCU, a donor care unit, and that's going to bring jobs into Nevada. It's going to bring help to revitalize an area there on South Sahara as well. And really the process of that donor care unit is just going to be able to create a facility where donation can happen in a way that provides the family a little bit of a different access.
So what does NDN do to increase access to transplantation for Nevadans? Do you have events? Do you galas, fundraisers to get the word out, to get more people on board?
Yeah, no. So we do, and in fact, if I may just share a couple of events. So
Please.
We do have our Inspire Hope Gala that is actually going to be this weekend. And we're fortunate to have a lot of sponsors. But again, I encourage people, if you are touched in any way around organ donation, you know somebody who needs one, you know someone who's had one, we encourage you to go visit our website and just even consider a small gift. You mean $5, $10, $20 makes an impact to being able to get the message out there.
Yeah.
But we do have a silent auction, and there's some really cool things there that you can click on, and we would love it if you could help support. The second event will actually be coming up in October, where we have a golf tournament. And so calling all golfers, it'll be at the Las Vegas Country Club. And if you've not golfed there, it's just, historic. It's beautiful. And it's going to be a full day event. And we're going to have a couple of special guests from around the country that'll be there, and some athletes. So I don't want to ruin the surprise, but trust me, it'll be a wonderful time. And so if you're interested in that, again, please visit our website at nvdonor.org to get some information.
We're talking to Tyre Gray. He's the Chief Administrative and Legal Officer at the Nevada Donor Network, a wonderful organization founded in 1987, headquartered right here in Las Vegas, and their mission is to maximize the gift of life and health through organ, eye, and tissue donation. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back with Tyre, and we're going to ask him a few more questions. One thing is about the human side of all of this. He is actually a donor recipient, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that, Tyre, right after we take this break. This is The Middle Ground. I'm Tom Letizia. Stay with us.
Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
The Vegas Sports Report is brought to you by
UNLV.
Tickets! We get you there.
Summerlin South Little League baseball team rallied from 8 runs down in the Mountain Region Tournament in San Bernardino yesterday to advance to the championship game. They ended up beating Utah 22-12 and will play the winner of tomorrow's semifinal on Friday afternoon. The winner of that will advance to the Little League World Series, which starts 1 week from today in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The Las Vegas Aviators took the opener of a 6-game series at Salt Lake against the Bees, final score 8-4. The Las Vegas Aces are in San Francisco tonight to play the second of back-to-back games with the Golden State Valkyries. The Aces won the first one on Sunday against the WNBA's expansion franchise. The new Raiders head coach is heading to his old stomping grounds this week. The Silver and Black open their preseason schedule in Seattle tomorrow, a place where Pete Carroll spent 14 seasons and brought the Seahawks their only Super Bowl title 11 years ago.
The Vegas Sports Report is brought to you by
UNLV.
Tickets! We get you there.
Attorneys Bradley Schrager and Daniel Bravo of the law firm Bravo Schrager LLP provide the highest standard of work on Nevada appeals. Bravo Schrager lawyers have long experience in the appellate process. They've argued dozens of appeals and writs in the Nevada Supreme Court and Court of Appeals over many years, and they produce clear, compelling, and persuasive legal briefs in support of your case. Bravo Schrager LLP knows the complex appeal process data inside and out. If your case is going on appeal, contact Bravo Schrager LLP at 702-996-1724 or visit bravoschrager.com. Bravo Schrager LLP knows the complex appeal process in Nevada inside and out. If your case is going on appeal, contact Bravo Schrager LLP at 702-996-1724 or visit bravoschrager.com. Attorneys Bradley Schrager and Daniel Bravo of the law firm Bravo Schrager LLP provide the highest standard of work on Nevada appeals. Bravo Schrager LLP, your Nevada law firm for appeals.
Hello, I'm Marla Letizia, founder of the Long Life Era community. If you are age 50 and over, you are entering what we call your long life era. The next 50 years of your life could be the happiest years as you start up the U-curve of happiness. The long life mindset is a shift in how you see the world and yourself.
Start your journey today. Embrace the mindset. Go to longlifemindset.com.
Ready to transform your body, boost your energy, and feel your best? Welcome to OC Body Fit at Tivoli Village. We offer personalized training for all ages and fitness levels, perfect for beginners, injury recovery, or pushing toward your next big goal. Our expert trainers focus on you with customized plans and proper techniques. Enjoy small group classes that bring the motivation of a community with the personal attention you need. Don't wait. Start your journey to a stronger, healthier you today. Call or text 702-978-8263 to book your free consultation now. OC Body Fit, your ultimate fitness destination.
A jury has spoken. Deborah Fenton slipped and fell, and the Cosmopolitan was found negligent. Thanks to Patrick Kang and Ace Law Group, justice was delivered. If you've been hurt by someone else's negligence, don't face it alone. Call Ace Law Group. We don't back down. We win. We win big, like $15 million big. Call 702-357-9729. Ace Law Group.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Lerner and Rowe today and let's make them pay. 877-1500.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 877-1500. 877-1500.
Randy Westbrook, managing attorney.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
We're stuck in the middle with you here on this, what is it, Wednesday today? Is it already the middle of the week? Wow, where's this week going? I used to call this hump day. It's right on we're on the hump now. Now we're going to roll into the Thursday, Friday, and then before you know it, we're in the weekend. This is the Middle Ground Radio Show. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. We're here every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9. This is Tom Letizia. Today we're having a very important conversation. We're talking to Tyre Gray, and he's with the Nevada Donor Network, and they save thousands of lives, and they've helped many, over 700,000 lives have been saved through organ donation in recent years. Russell Letizia, would you like to ask another question?
Tyre, what has been your biggest challenge leading an organization that operates at the intersection of life and death?
Yeah, wonderful question. I'd say organ donation and transplantation is one of the few places where grief and gratitude exist in the same time. There's the grief from the loss of the loved one, but there's a gratitude of the folks who are about to receive the gift of life and their families. And I mean, the ability to merge that, a lot of times through our programs that we have grief support, but we also see that the families themselves tend to create a new family structure where they incorporate that person who may have been saved. And it's just an amazing opportunity to see that grief and that gratitude exist in the same space and be able to turn that into something special.
Yeah, I mean, this is a historical moment when you're going through that transplant process, and you finally find the right organ, and then all of a sudden you have a new lease on life, basically. Okay, so I was looking at some statistics here before we went on the air today. Over 100,000 people are currently on transplant wait lists nationwide, with 13 to 17 people dying each day waiting for an organ. That's an amazing statistic. Now this is even more amazing, this one. Only about 1 in 1,000 deaths occur in a way that qualifies for organ donation. We're dealing with minuscule numbers here. That means out of every 1,999 don't qualify. And you mentioned to me that you have to be on a ventilator.
Yeah, so, in order for the donation process to happen, the person must die in a very unique situation. And in that circumstance, number one is being on a ventilator. Mm-hmm. But, the sad fact is, since we've been on the radio, unfortunately, somebody has lost their life. Yeah. And in addition to somebody losing their life, at least one other or possibly two others have been placed on the wait list. Mm-hmm. And so, if we don't do our job in making sure that we're able to procure enough organs to save these folks and to help with the folks who are getting put on the list. There are going to be, unfortunately, families that are passing away and family members who are passing away who don't have to because we have the resource to be able to save those 100,000 plus.
Yeah, and you mentioned to me during the break that roughly 65% are registered to be an organ donor, 65% of the people in our community. What if we were to take that number to 75, 85, 95? How many more lives would we be saving?
Yeah, so the exponential impact of that is huge, right?
Yeah.
As we discussed earlier, one person can save 8 lives.
Yeah.
So just adding 2 to 3 additional people can have an impact that can save. Save up to 400-500 people. Just adding 2 to 3 people.
Yeah. So right now, if you're listening, you can make an impact. If you're not registered, you can make an impact that will change someone's life. Okay. So let's go to the human side of all of this right now. You are a kidney recipient. Can you share your story with us?
I'd love to. Look, I have so much gratitude. I am so thankful and grateful to be here to even speak to you today.
Yeah.
When I was 23, I found out that I had kidney disease, and I went through the normal wrestlings of grief, denial, bargaining to eventually acceptance. And I was lucky enough to be able to list at different transplant centers through the and through the grace of God, I was able to get a transplant here in Southern Nevada at UMC Medical Center. So again, transplant team there at UMC, if you're listening, thank you, because that saved my life and it changed my life.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be here. And I was able to, go on, and I have 2 beautiful kids that I didn't have before. I've been able to have a wonderful career, and I just hope that the family of the family that helped to facilitate my gift of life, I live for them. I live for my family, but I also live for them because I want them to be proud that when they said, yes, we'll do that gift, that it came to somebody who wasn't going to waste it.
Yeah.
And every day I wake up ready to make sure that I can do whatever I need to do to be good for my family, but also be good for the community.
So you wake up with gratitude every day.
Yes.
I mean, you are thankful. And listen, if you've never experienced, and I don't think anybody has not experienced some kind of a health problem in their life, but waiting for an organ, being in need of a kidney transplant, what was life like at that time when you're waiting for this organ?
Yeah, look, it was a paralyzing time, right? If you, for some of us, it's a little bit harder to remember when we were 23, but at 23, you're invincible. You graduate in college,
Sure.
You're getting ready to start your career, and you're saying yes to random opportunities to be able to expand your horizons. And I didn't get to do that. Some of this is pre-Affordable Health Act, and so I wasn't able to be on my parents' insurance, and so I had to make strategic decisions to kind of even make sure I had insurance so I could have access to the transplant. And the waiting process was tedious, and there are people who have to go through the dialysis process, and there are others who choose not to. But I remember I would walk into my nephrologist's office, and at 20, in my late 20s, I'd be the youngest person in the room, and I'd look around going like, what am I even doing here? But again, my life kind of was on a weird pause in between 25 and 28 to 30. And so after receiving the kidney transplant and being set free, I've kind of tried to hit the hit the ground running and get into good trouble, as John Lewis once said.
Well, and what a success you've made out of your life. Now you're the chief administrative and legal officer at the Nevada Donor Network. So you took your life from being in a very desperate situation into becoming a very successful man. So let me ask you this, Tyre. What do you say to families facing that moment of choosing to donate a loved one's organs?
Yeah, look, my life's come full circle, right? I mean, how many times is somebody get to say they work for the organization that literally saved their life? Wow. But for the work that the men and women at the Nevada Donor Network do on a daily basis, I wouldn't even be here. So it's so great to be able to be employed in doing the work alongside them. But when that family is facing that choice, I mean, a lot of times I tell them my personal story. I say, hey, look at me. And again, not that I believe myself to be special in any way, but for somebody saying yes, I would not be here. But for somebody saying yes, I wouldn't have two beautiful children, Adonis and Rain, who may be listening, but probably should be getting ready for school
next week. Right? They got another week.
It starts next week, but I mean, we're already starting some of those prep work, so that the mind can start to flow again. But again, I just wouldn't be in this situation, and so I mean. And it's the random acts of kindness. And I just want to, emphasize this really quickly. When I was ill, there were store clerks, Walmart greeters, like people who would just say hi to me. And they didn't know what I was going through. And so I encourage everybody, again, whether you're in your car or you're walking down the street, whatever you may be doing, like those random acts of kindness that you do for people just randomly, you never know what the other person's going through. And so that smile that you give somebody today might get them through to tomorrow. And, I try to bring that to my life every day because that's what got me through.
Yeah, no, random acts of kindness. I love that. I love that expression. It doesn't cost you any more money to be nice to people, to smile at people, to be pleasant with people, to ask them how their day is going. What's going on in your life today? They're just random acts of kindness that make this a better world. And there's so many people that unfortunately wake up in the morning, they're in a bad mood, they're angry, they leave their house mad. And why? Why? Because you're just making everyone else around you miserable. And I just love your spirit, your enthusiasm, your passion for what you do. Tell me, Tyre, what's one lesson you've learned about leadership from this work that you're doing?
Oh man.
And I know you've learned a lot.
No, that's a huge one. I think, compassion and empathy, right? Listening to people. We do deal at the intersection of life and death. And when you deal there, we never get used to people passing away. And the impact that it has on our staff on a daily basis. Again, that grief and gratitude, we feel both ends of that because we get to see and experience that loss right there with that family. And then on the flip side, there are times we get to experience that gratitude with the other family. And so the one thing that I've really taken away, again, is just the empathy for the individual human experience. Again, it hits us all differently, and being able to listen and sit in feelings with people. And not just always try to solve the problem, but sometimes just experience it with them is important.
Yeah, no question about it. So let me ask you this. What advice would you give to young professionals looking to make an impact in public health or law?
It's simple. Say yes. Like I said earlier, I always say my career is what happens, and my life in general, when you say yes to random questions. Take the experience, learn the lesson, because every job, even some of the small jobs that I've had along the way when I was super young, I can look back and point to something in my career today that I can attribute to that job and that experience. So be bold in the choices that you make, be fearless, and apply and give your best. In all things that you do, even those relatively menial tasks, because a lot of times that's where the secret sauce is. And there's so much for everyone to get out of this in so many ways. And I love your inspirational quote. You say success is measured not just by impact, by the lives we lift along the way. Means so much.
And you mean so much to so many people, and you've done so much. And the Nevada Donor Network is just an incredible organization. I want to talk more with our guest today, Tyre Gray. He's the Chief Operating and Legal Officer at the Nevada Donor Network. We're going to be back right after we take this break. Stay with us.
Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you.
Attorneys Bradley Schrager and Daniel Bravo of the law firm Bravo Schrager LLP provide the highest standard of work on Nevada appeals. Bravo Schrager lawyers have long experience in the appellate process. They've argued dozens of appeals and writs in the Nevada Supreme Court and Court of Appeals over many years, and they produce clear, compelling, and persuasive legal briefs in support of your case. Bravo Schrager LLP knows the complex appeal process in Nevada inside and out. If your case is going on appeal, contact Bravo Schrager LLP at 702-996-1724 or visit bravoschrager.com. Bravo Schrager LLP knows the complex appeal process in Nevada inside and out. If your case is going on appeal, contact Bravo Schrager LLP at 702-996-1724 or visit bravoschrager.com. Attorneys Bradley Schrager and Daniel Bravo of the law firm Bravo Schrager LLP provide the highest standard of work on Nevada appeals. Bravo Schrager LLP, your Nevada law firm for appeals.
He's the man behind the message, the strategist with 54 years of unstoppable success. From mayoral races to national headlines, he delivers. Tom Letizia, the maestro of media. The name behind 10,000 commercials, $1 billion in ad spend, and a legacy of political wins. Need to win hearts, shift public opinion, or manage a crisis? Visit LetitiaAgency.com, where your message meets its moment.
Ready to transform your body, boost your energy, and feel your best? Welcome to OC Body Fit at Tivoli Village. We offer personalized training for all ages and fitness levels, perfect for beginners, injury recovery, or pushing toward your next big goal. Our expert trainers focus on you with customized plans and proper techniques. Enjoy small group classes that bring the motivation of a community with the personal attention you need. Don't wait. Start your journey to a stronger, healthier you today. Call or text 702-978-8263 to book your free consultation now. OC Body Fit, your ultimate fitness destination.
A jury has spoken. Deborah Fenton slipped and fell, and the Cosmopolitan was found negligent. Thanks to Patrick Kang and Ace Law Group, justice was delivered. If you've been hurt by someone else's negligence, don't face it alone. Call Ace Law Group. We don't back down. We win. We win big, like $15 million big. Call 702-357-9729. Ace Law Group.
KMZQ On-Time Traffic. It's powered by Meineke Car Care Centers. Right now, you can get an oil change for only $34.95. Meineke, doing car care right.
We're looking better on the Valley freeways. We'll start in the northwest on I-11 southbound before Cheyenne. What was blocking the right side of the freeway is now pushed off to the right shoulder. All lanes open there on I-11 95 southbound approaching Cheyenne. Other side of the valley in Henderson, 95, I-11 southbound at Horizon. That is also on the right shoulder out of the travel lanes as you make your way up the hill there. All clear on the Beltway so far this morning. In the southwest, though, getting word of a new injury accident at the intersection of Russell and Valley View. The California wildfire haze still going to be hovering around the valley. We have hot temperatures today, 108 degrees this afternoon. Winds around 25 miles per hour. It's already 91 degrees. I'm Mark Thomas with your on-time traffic, brought to you by Meineke Car Care Centers on AM 670 KMZQ.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
We're back on the Middle Ground Radio Show here on 670 AM KMZQ, or your favorite podcast, or you're streaming on the middlegroundshow.com, wherever you're listening to us today. Thank you. It's great to have you here. Great show today. Great guest today. Chief Operating and Legal Officer of the Nevada Donor Network, Tyre Gray. He's known for bridging the gap between law, policy, and humanitarian work. Tyre, I was looking at, and again, here's where your legal expertise comes in. I was looking at a statistic before you came on the air today. Nearly 42% of OPOs could be decertified by 2026 under stricter performance metrics. What What does that mean?
Yeah, so wonderful question. Look, I think, again, the Nevada Donor Network is the leader in the OPO space, being a Tier 1A OPO. And we are really transformative within the industry, embracing new practices. What we've seen from the federal government is there's a desire to streamline and a desire to look at consolidation efforts. And so in 2020, they began the process of creating new metrics by which OPOs would be measured. And a lot of those metrics are really about how you're going out into the community, making sure that you're spreading the word, but also how you are performing when it comes to the actual procuring of organs. Dr. Sy and Dr. Pollinger, who are medical directors, are wonderful at making sure that our practices are at the cutting edge of innovation, but also done in a way that is responsible. I think as an industry, OPOs, again, we have to operate in transparency and integrity, because the organ donation process is a gift. There's no money exchange for it. It is simply you signing up to say, hey, when I pass away, I believe in giving this gift. And so as we look at some of our other sister OPOs who have an opportunity to improve and or even consolidate, it is just an industry push for all of us to become better.
Okay, so, and for our listeners, OPOs stand for Organ Procurement Organizations, and there's only 56 federally certified in the United States, and we are one of them right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, so how does Nevada Donor Network rank nationally in the organ donation system? Are we at the top, the middle, the bottom?
Yeah, again, that Tier 1A distinction is a distinction that is really elite. We are at the very top, consistently ranking 1, 2, 3 out of those 56. And again, it's attributed to the work that the ladies and gentlemen who are in the field at this very moment do on a daily basis, and I just get to be a part of supporting their efforts there on the ground.
Yeah, you've got a wonderful board. But you always need more community awareness. I hope we're accomplishing some of that today by getting the word out to more people. So I wanted to ask you this: there are a number of ways to look at success. In your eyes, how would you view success?
Man, that is a wonderful question. So there's the success of waking up every day and doing your best. But then there's also the measurable success, which are making sure that you have the training, you have the skill set to be able to carry out the job that's been assigned to you. And I think one of the things that we're most proud of at the Nevada Donor Network is that our ladies and gentlemen who are in the field on a daily basis are able to procure organs at a rate that exceeds most of our counterparts. And what that means, to be direct, is that we are responsible for saving more lives when we were able to procure more organs. And so our role, our small role but important role that we get to play in the organ donation and organ transplantation process that eventually goes from somebody being on dialysis to being able to live a full life with their family is huge.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, it is life-changing, and it's so important. And you're a living example of what has become of you as a transplant recipient and how you turned your life around. Okay. Are we ready for the lightning round right now?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Do you know what the lightning round is?
I'm about to find out.
Okay, well, this is it's going to be easier for you because you're not a politician. And when I get my politicians in here, I say, look, I want you to give me a quick fire answer. But most of them don't know what that means. It's usually one word, 2 words, a few words. And I think you'll be good at this. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Let's go.
All right. First job you ever had. That's easy.
SeaWorld San Diego popcorn vendor.
Popcorn vendor. I just love that. What a from popcorn vendor to a big guy running a company. Okay, I love
popcorn
that.
to this day. So
well, you got it from being a vendor, I'm sure. Book that changed your life.
How to win friends and influence people.
That's so important, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. Legal brief or community speech. What do you enjoy more?
Oh, man, legal briefs are very fun to write. They could be tactical, but I love to speak to people.
Yeah, and those legal briefs are so hard to understand, too, half the time. Vegas Strip or Red Rock Canyon?
Red Rock is absolutely beautiful, but I like to cut a rug and I can hear the song underneath, so let's go Vegas Strip.
Yeah, well, there's nothing more fascinating than the Las Vegas Strip. It's one of the greatest places in the world. Most underrated public servant in Nevada.
Oh, man, that's a wonderful question. I'm going to go with our 911 operators. A lot of times people don't appreciate the work that they do. They're the ones who answer the phone calls that ultimately dispatch fire and police to you. So shout out to all the 911 operators.
Yeah, they're the hidden heroes.
They truly are.
Yeah, they're there, and you don't hear a lot about them, but they're out there on the front line saving lives. Favorite comfort food after a long day?
Oh, man. I don't know if is bourbon a food group? No.
Bourbon. Oh, yeah. All alcoholic beverages are part of that food group.
No, I really enjoy tacos, man. A good taco.
Nothing like a good taco every once in a while, right? Role model growing up.
Oh, that's a great question. Look, my grandfather was probably the most influential person to me in my life. But as I became older and looked at public figures, someone like Dr. King, again, the ability to unify people, change the world, using one's voice and one's mind is important.
Yeah, changing the world. How big is that, right? One word that describes your leadership style.
Oh, man, welcoming, inclusive. I believe in just everybody being around the table. I got that as a kid, man. If I saw somebody not playing, I was a kid who walked over and tried to include them, and so I think I'd take that into my leadership.
Yeah, you got to include everybody in the conversation, right? It's not, you don't just focus on a few, you focus on everyone. Tyre, thank you for your insight, your service, and most important, your heart. The work you and Nevada Donor Network are doing doesn't just save lives. It restores hope. It strengthens community, and it inspires purpose. For anyone listening today, consider becoming a donor, telling your loved ones your wishes, and learning more about how you can help save lives right here in Nevada. Tyre, you embody what Middle Ground is all about, bridging compassion with action. Appreciate you being here today.
Such a privilege and pleasure. And again, thank you everybody who's already an organ donor. And for those of you who aren't, please consider it, because the life that you could save could have been mine. Thank you.
Yeah, and someone did save your life. So how can they register right now? If those listening, how do they go online? I know we mentioned this before, but I want to mention it again.
Make sure. Look, if anything you've heard today has compelled you to want to register, please go to envydonor.org and follow the prompts to become a registered organ donor. And again, the impact that you can have, you can save up to 8 lives, heal up to 75, and restore sight for 2 people, which is just an amazing impact.
Yeah, and it doesn't take in 5 minutes today. I hope we have some listeners that will enact their random, what is the term again?
Random acts of kindness.
I love that. I love it. I can't say it, but I love it. Random acts of kindness. Thank you, Tyre. Loved having you here today. We'll be back with you again tomorrow here on the Middle Ground Radio Show, and we're honored to have our Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson back with us. He's a longtime public servant, former Las Vegas City Councilman, and he's currently the chief prosecutor for one of the most dynamic counties in the country. He'll be here. He'll be in the studio with us live tomorrow on the Middle Ground Radio Show on 670 AM KMZQ. This is Tom Letizia. I wish you all a wonderful Wednesday, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.